Good Tuesday evening to you, congregation. This is your VibeMistress, Stephanie Renée. Very pleased to be welcoming you back to another edition of I Heard That here on Soul Sanctuary Media. And as everyone knows, especially here in the United States, which is the only place where we actually celebrate it, this is Turkey Week, as I like to call it. Just a couple of days before people get together for a holiday that people are calling Thanksgiving, which is what we traditionally call it. This year, there are a lot of people trying on some other names because there is a long story, troubled history between citizens of this nation and Native Americans, which is what we have begun to call people, rightly so, but still what that means for our nation is still working itself out. But Shareese and I'll bring her in now. Shareese and I wanted to kind of kick off this holiday season by celebrating some of the music that we play readily, beginning on Thanksgiving all the way through to the end of the year, celebrating the holidays. So first of all, good evening, my beautiful co-host. How are you today?
Good evening. I'm doing fine. How are you?
I am tired, but I am happy to be doing this particular show because anybody who knows me knows that there are two things that you can guarantee that I'm going to geek out for. One of them are soundtracks, because I love all Broadway. It doesn't make a difference where it comes from. I love soundtrack music, and I love Christmas music. It's my thing. I have a very extensive collection that I now get to share with people on the radio station, when it comes around this time of year. But being able to do so with you, my sister in song, this evening is double a treat.
Yes, ma'am. I'm right there.
And it's really interesting too, because anybody who knows me also knows that I jokingly refer to myself as a heathen. That I was raised in the church, but as I got older, I started having some questions, started having some issues with certain things that are shared in that space. And another one of our pen friends mentioned in a post probably a month or so ago that she finds spirit and she finds ministry in the music itself. And I was like, that's me. Like, for real, that's me. And so, celebrating Christmas and all of the sort of trimmings that go along with it, for me, there's so much of the joy and the spirit, the true meaning of the season, I find in the songs that celebrate the season as well.
Yes. Well, that's my thing in general. I always say, like, I get my blessing is in the music. Like, when I go to church, I probably wouldn't do well in church that doesn't have a music ministry. Not do well, but I would probably be good, all right. But my blessing is in the music. That's me in general. Whatever kind of music it is, I'm getting blessed by it, and I feel that's the spirit in it as well. So we always hear anyway. So yes. We agree.
Exactly. So we want to thank everybody who's tuning in tonight. And we hope that regardless of what your belief system is, that you will be blessed by the music that we are sharing with you tonight in all kinds of ways, because we got a little something for everyone, we believe, in the selections that we put together tonight. And so, Shareese, for people who are just tuning in for the first time, we develop our playlist for under the theme of the evening separately. And then, I bring them together and I kind of put them in order based on what we have separately chosen, but how they fit. And of course, Shareese and I picked at least one song from from the same group. And how this works out. And because Shareese and I, our history in music together began in a cappella, it certainly makes sense that we will both choose a selection from this group. So Shareese, why don't you talk us into your first hit for tonight?
Okay. My first song, as Stephanie said, is from an a cappella group. that is crazy talented. They've gone through a few personnel changes, but they have not missed or skipped a beat. And this song, I don't know how I came across this album, but I'm so glad I did, because it is one of the albums that I play on repeat all the time. I have to make myself stop. It's not Christmas no more, Shareese. You can stop playing that album, but I still will play it. This particular song, and it was hard to find a song on there that I wanted to do for tonight, because they're already soulful. There's obviously it's all holiday songs, but this particular song, the reason why I chose it is because my boy goes off at the end with his scat work. I just wanted to bring that to your attention so y'all will listen out for it at the end, because if you get caught up in the music, you can miss, or you can sometimes miss these ad libs and stuff, but you be listening out for it at the end, because he kills it at the end. And with that introduction, you may have guessed that I'm talking about the super powerful, super talented, super uber everything acapella group Take 6. The song is called I Saw Three Ships. Classic song from the holidays and soulfully rendered by Take 6.
And so we're going to listen, and then as usual, we will talk about it on the other side. So comment section, y'all do your thing, and we will interact with you while we listen.
I saw three ships come sailing in on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. I saw three ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning. Oh, wee, oh, wee, oh, wee, oh. I saw three ships come sailing in on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. I saw three ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning. And what was on those ships? All three on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. And what was on those ships? All three on Christmas Day in the morning. Oh. This is Christ the King. Aye-yo. The Virgin Mary and Christ were there on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. The Virgin Mary and Christ were there on Christmas Day, Christmas Day. On Christmas Day in the morning, redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. Oh, and all the angels in heaven shall sing on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. And all the angels in heaven shall sing on Christmas Day in the morning. Then let us all rejoice and sing on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Let us all rejoice and sing on Christmas Day in the morning. This is Christ Christmas Day in the morning.
Listen here.
He wears me out. You hear me? Oh, man. Listen, I can't even. I have a problem with mimicking exactly what anybody sings in a song, the intonations. I can't do it with that. I can't do it. A little piece, not all. He wears me out.
Just every single time, like it is the kibbles, and I need to say that. I need to say this because I need y'all to know how much love I have for Mervyn Warren.
Yes.
And one of the original members of Take Six. And, you know, I'm not going to get into the controversy that caused him to leave the group. But what I will say is that when I heard he was leaving and they released their first Christmas album, and this is a segue. I'll get to my song in a moment. Yes. But they released their first Christmas album after Mervyn left and Joey Kibble joined the group. Yes. So I was poised. I was poised to have an attitude, and I couldn't do it because the musical gift that they share is so profound that I just had to settle into the idea that things change and people will go on to the thing that was meant for them, and I don't need to hold on to any feelings, feeling some kind of way or some type of way, as we like to say in Philly, about that whole situation.
We didn't lose anything from Take Six with that change.
Right.
I would love for them to have, stayed with the same members throughout whatever. And that's what I want for any group. But I definitely was like, who? What Kibble? No, that ain't his name. Oh, this a different Kibble?
A different Kibble. But that was Mark. Now that was the original member. And so Shareese, you will appreciate this because I don't even know that you know. Before they formally became Take Six, they were a quartet in school and they were named a special blend.
Okay. I may have known that, but if I did, I forgot it. But
right. So Andrea, I'm not sure how you pronounce yours. Andrea. Okay. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed that because I think there is a lot to be said for like being awakened to a sound you have never heard and just being floored by it. And look, see, your cousin's out here in the street acting up.
Oh, and that's just so you know, Andrea, you love that song and everybody's saying they love it. That is on their album called It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year. Get the album because that whole album is, well, I mean, anything you get by Take Six, you're not going to go wrong. You'll be fine. But specifically for this season, you will not want to turn it off at all.
Right. And I will say that I thought I had this album. And when I went looking for it in my library, I did not. And I was like, leave it to Shareese to make me realize that somehow someone who thought I had everything that Take Six had ever done.
Right.
I had not, for whatever reason, I had not bought that album, but I have it now.
Absolutely.
Okay. So thank you, Shareese.
Delayed, but not denied.
Okay. Exactly. So now that leads me to this album that I told you all that I was going to begrudgingly purchase when it first came out because my favorite member of the group was no longer with them. However, you cannot deny the power of incredibly beautiful arrangements. And this one makes me laugh because this was one of the first more complex arrangements that I tried to do for our Shareese and our college a cappella group, The Inspiration.
Ooh, it was rough.
And listen, now I did 3 total Take Six arrangements for the groups over my years doing arrangements for them. And every single time I brought an arrangement back to the group, they looked at me cross-eyed, like, you want us? Now, mind you, the smallest the Inspiration ever was during the years that Shareese and I were involved was 12 people. So we're still talking about double the voices that Take Six has on a good day, on their general format of it. But even with 2 people, her voice part, they were still looking at me like I was insane. So I just want you all to know.
It's one thing when you're singing along, or you think you're singing along, and then when you're learning what you're actually supposed to be singing as you sing, whole different story. Like the world was upside down a little bit. Yes,
'tis true. But I could not do some of my favorite Christmas music without giving you my own selection for a Take 6 arrangement. And so this is a song that everybody has sung. If you have caroled, if you sing with your family during the holidays, you've heard this song. You just haven't heard it like this. So let me get it queued up so that I can dump people right into the magic that is. So from their very first Christmas album titled He Is Christmas, this is Take 6 with their arrangement of Away in a Manger.
Yes.
I heard that. Welcome back to this edition of I Heard That, where Shareese and I are celebrating our favorite soulful holiday tunes. And for those of you who never heard that arrangement, singing lead on that arrangement was Joey Kibble. So you understand how I really couldn't be mad at the brother for joining the group after I heard him just lay his amazingness all over that particular arrangement. And so, I was made a believer. Yes. And then I appreciated the fact that we had two Kibble brothers doing their thing in take 6. So that was a blessing on top of it all. Yes. And I love
catch them live if you can, people. Catch them live if you can, because in concert, those two brothers, they be doing scat battles, and you would think that they would be tired, they would get tired and find no other way to scat, but they find a way to scat.
And listen, and they are goofy and wonderful people. So I have had the pleasure of singing on stage with them. As Shareese did, we did the Penn Gospel Choir alumni. Yes. Got a chance to sing with them at the Annenberg Center in Philadelphia. That was what, 10 years ago now, Shareese? Probably. I think it was either 09 or 010, so a little bit more than 10 years.
That was for Back to Black, right? No.
Nah, well, don't let our senior memories try and tell you what year it was. Woo! But it was really wonderful for that. And then I got a chance to connect with them again when Jeff Bradshaw recorded his live album Home at the Kimmel Center. They were involved with that project. They were involved with that performance, and I got a chance to do some interviewing backstage during that show. And they are lovable and goofy and just wonderful human beings. Yes. Who can really sing.
Not standoffish at all. Very welcoming, very accessible, very inviting. I enjoyed my little bit of time around them. Listen, I didn't fangirl out.
Well, you don't want to fangirl over a gospel group. It just makes you feel some special kind of way. You can't give them that energy. It just doesn't seem appropriate. But they are very nice to look at also, on top of being really nice guys who can really sing. So, it's all in that package.
I mean, well, I didn't do it on purpose,
But it is what it is.
Yeah, it was so pleasant to be around, and just you wouldn't have known that there was any separation between us and them in that backstage area. So it was really cool.
Yes, absolutely was. So thank you, Take 6, for the great songs and for the memories. And may you all live long and prosper, like Spock said.
Yes. Oh, and I wanted to say too that part of the reason why I chose I Saw 3 Ships is because that song is also when I was growing up, my mother played, I want to say there were 4 albums.
And I'm sure one of your other selections comes from one of those albums.
One of them does.
So I was gonna say, be careful about what you tease out right now.
One of the ones was on Nat King Cole's Christmas album.
Yes.
And he's saying that I Saw 3 Ships on his Christmas album. So it was something I was very familiar with going into hearing Take 6 do it. Yes. And so of course I kind of, because it was something that was a tradition in my household growing up, I had to go with that for tonight in honor of my mom.
Well, I love that, because the next song that I have queued up for you is by one of your favorite artists. It is absolutely a classic. And, people have scandalized his name. So, the whole idea that we can bring it back to the innocence of youth.
Yes.
And a Christmas classic is a wonderful thing. So I will leave you to say whatever else you would like to say about this next song.
So this this song is by my boys. See, it was never just about the lead singer for me. It was all of them. And I felt like I was a family member. If you knew me growing up, if probably not even growing up, these my people. Like I am the 12th child, because Marlon had a twin that died at birth, but you ain't had to know all that. But this song is one that Stevie Wonder did
Yes.
as well. And you know, over in Motown, they would swap songs, you know, and the Jackson 5 did a lot of songs that were done by other artists that weren't necessarily released, but they had weren't released at that time. But then of course,
Right.
if I have it, that means it was released at some point because I ain't got no inside connection. This song was that absolutely released on their ever popular Christmas album, the Jackson 5. And this song is the reason why I love this song is because I've always marveled at how soulful Michael Jackson's voice was as a child. Like, even though they could teach you whatever, they could teach you exactly what to say, they can tell you how they want you to how to sing and how to get it out, but you have to be able to get that sound out. And he was so soulful as a child. I don't care how old he was a kid singing like a grown man. And so on this song, I really, really, really felt it a lot in this particular holiday song. And so this is Someday at Christmas by
that is not the one you picked.
Hold on. Oh, no. Go back. So this song was actually let me tell you something. We could play the whole album.
Yes.
That's the reason why I'd have to give myself notes because it could be any song on there. And that Someday at Christmas was almost, oh man, that was I should have picked. No, I picked the right one. This song is Give Love on Christmas Day. And I picked this song because again, he sounds very soulful singing it. And I love the spirit of the song. It's such a sweet song. And something that we should be listening to probably all throughout the year. And that's it. Give love on Christmas Day. Give love every day.
Yes. Amen.
People making lists, buying special gifts, taking time to be kind to one and all. It's that time of year when good friends are dear, and you wish you could give more than just presents from a store. Why don't you give love on Christmas Day? Oh, even the man who has everything would be so happy if you would bring him love on Christmas Day. No greater gift is there than love. People you don't know, smiling not hello. Everywhere there's an air of Christmas joy. It's that once a year when the world is sincere, and you'd like to find a way to show the things that words can say. Why don't you give love on Christmas Day? Oh, the man on the street and the couple upstairs all need to know there's someone who cares. Give love on Christmas Day. No greater gift is there than love. What the world needs is love. Yes, the world needs your love. Why don't you give love on Christmas Day? Oh, every little child on
I heard that. We are bringing you into the holiday spirit on tonight's edition of I Heard That. I'm your VibeMistress Stephanie Renée, here with my partner in music, Shareese, and we just finished listening to a classic, courtesy of the Jackson 5 with Give Love on Christmas Day. And that is just so sweet.
It is.
Right? It is very hard to feel like a Grinch after you hear that song.
Right. So don't cry. Feel good, you know? It's okay to feel good.
Yes, we got to. And listen, this, one of the things I'm really sensitive to is that this Thanksgiving, on Thursday is going to be the first time that some people have gotten together with family and friends, just really done the holidays like we used to do it in the before times, as I like to call it, before the world went on shutdown.
Right. Right.
So, I hope that you all are feeling the love.
Meaningful.
Yes. Intentionality, right, of sharing this music with you all now. We're priming the pump for you to actually embrace the whole idea of tidings of comfort and joy.
That's right.
For this holiday season.
Right.
And so my next selection, kind of playing off of the Jackson 5 connections and the Michael Jackson connection in particular, is that as heartbroken as I was when Mervyn Warren left Take 6, I was very happy that one of the first projects he landed after separating from the group was in being one of the main arrangers for the selections from the album from which this particular next song that I'm going to play for you comes. And that's even more important because it was a collaboration with, if I have a king zero of musical influences in my life, it is a position that is shared by two individuals, one being the legendary LeQ, Quincy Jones.
I knew it.
And the second being my father.
Yes.
And this project combines both of those influences and the way that I experienced them first and probably most memorably, because my father, for those of you who don't know, I come from a long line of singing folk. And my father was a minister of music at his church. He was also, come holiday time, he was a featured vocalist at everybody's church. So he would do the rounds singing. And one of the things you could be guaranteed that he would be a lead tenor for each and every year were performances of the oratorio, Handel's Messiah. And so I was probably one of the only 5 or 6 year olds that could sing phonetically, because I wasn't reading the music at that point, but could sing half of Handel's Messiah by heart because I would hear it performed so often and loved hearing my father sing it. And so, I'm a child of the hip hop era, and that was a place where my father and I's taste diverged very concretely. But I could always find some ways where what he instilled in me would come together with the modern sensibilities that I was growing up with and that I was developing myself. And this album was a place where he and I could both smile and cheer. And now I could have played the selection that Take 6 contributed to this album, but I did not.
Okay.
Because we are diversifying our selections tonight.
Yes, yes.
So I decided to go more traditional.
Okay.
For this arrangement. And because we are talking about family, this is another woman who comes from a musical family and she can blow. So if you have not ever heard Handel's Messiah, a Soulful Celebration, as produced by Quincy Jones, then I am delighted to be able to give you this rendition of the selection, And He Shall Purify, with lead vocals by Tremaine Hawkins.
Ooh.
And he shall purify, and he shall purify the sons of Levi.
He shall purify, and he shall purify
So if you listen to that and didn't make an ugly face, then something in your soul is broken. I need I need you all to know, and I need you all to know how much comfort that arrangement brings to my spirit, because for anybody who did not understand how much of Mervyn Warren's print was on the first two albums of Take Six, then listening to what he can do with the whole choir, hopefully makes you all understand why I was so sad when he left. But seeing him go on and continue to prosper, just, oh man, woo!
That was incredible. Like, first of all, Tremaine Hawkins, man.
Yes. Right?
I
So, so much
voice
more
is
than Going
like-
Up Yonder. So much more. So much more.
I mean, anytime that you hear, especially on the old stuff when she was younger, not that she ain't still got it, because she does.
Right.
But when that voice was like a bell and the notes was up here and down, like she incredible. And as I said in the comment section, this is how choirs for me should sound.
Mm-hmm.
Like there should be like, I mean, just the texture and the depth and still one voice, but then the harmony. I mean, and I heard Mervyn Warren all over this, especially that the first part up to the chorus. That sounded like one of the songs that we played. Like he was all over that. So I thank you for introducing me to that song, because I hadn't heard it. So that's an album that I need to get. See, I don't need to be going broke doing this podcast.
But what we do, and
that.
for those of you, again, for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, here on I Heard That, we have two goals. One is to make you pause long enough to give a deep listen to some things that you may think you know, or hopefully introduce you to some songs that you don't know, but that we feel you should know. And we want to have some conversation around how they came to be, how we feel about the artists and all of those things. But then once you have heard, either been introduced or reintroduced to this music, then the other goal is that you add it to your collection, that you support these artists who are making the music so that they can continue to make the music and release all of this beauty and wonder into the world.
Right. If you like it, if you love it, go on and purchase it. Purchase. Let it be yours forever.
Yes.
Don't let a streaming app decide whether or not it really belongs to you or not, because it don't belong to you when you stream it. I'm just saying it's okay to stream. Some things we have to stream. Some things aren't available for purchase anymore, like the song that you had with Shaka Khan and I forget the guitar
and
player.
Air Gale.
So we have
that
to
was last show.
We messed up. You know, if we missed it, we missed it. It's gone. But most of the music that we play here and that is played everywhere, most of it you can purchase and have forever. So,
and we're giving you the information so you can go digging for it, even if you have to go old school and try and find the CD, so you can buy the CD and then rip the music yourself, so that you have it for all of your devices. But we try to give you background information, artist and album information, so you can go looking.
And in my podcast post on Facebook, I list the names of these songs and the albums on which they can be found, so that you can then take that information and make your purchase. So you can have all these songs that we are featuring and more.
Indeed. And we're halfway through, because Shareese, rightly so, asked if we could have a bonus track tonight. So we each have an extra song that we are sharing with you tonight. And as I've mentioned in the kind of the social media post and promo, most of your favorite shows that you might be dipping out early to go see are on seasonal hiatus, if the season is not completely done. So, you have an excuse to hang out with us a little while longer tonight.
A little bit longer, just a little bit, a tinge.
And enjoy the music.
Was suggested by one of my brothers, asked that we could do a little longer, or we can do like, because I mean there's so many songs we could choose, and we can come back and do it again maybe during the season. We'll see.
Yes, we'll see. So, speaking of kind of old school being made new again, your next song selection is by an artist that some people may be familiar with, but unless they are a little more in the mature category, they might have no clue about this next gentleman. So share with us how you discovered this song and why you have selected it for us this evening, if you would.
So, as I mentioned earlier, when I was growing up, there were like four Christmas albums that my mother played every year. One of them was Nat King Cole's Christmas album. One was Alvin and the Chipmunks Christmas album. She was a preschool teacher, and so that some of that stuff rubbed off into the home. I wasn't mad at it. I love it. There was a choir. I don't know what that choir was, but that was the most traditional that we would listen to. I mean, it was orchestral and everything. I can't remember the name of it. And the other one was called Soul Christmas. And this song here, at I don't know how old, I was very young. I knew this song very young, by Clarence Carter.
Yes.
And we all, maybe, I know that I didn't know. It's so funny because I didn't know that any of the artists on this album growing up. Obviously, I was a kid. So not only is Clarence Carter on this album, and then I was reintroduced to him years later, probably a teenager or early 20s, from his more famous song called Stroking. Auntie Mary Alice, it's okay, because this your sister I'm talking about. She her fault. But also on this album was Otis Redding. I had no idea Otis Redding did this song. Merry Christmas Baby is on that song as well. I mean, on that album as well. Soul Christmas, go get it. But this song here is called, and I noticed that some other people did versions of it, but I prefer still this version of it, and it's called Backdoor Santa.
And here it goes.
Sorry, Auntie Mary Alice.
Santa, I make my runs about the break of day. They call me backdoor Santa. I make my runs about the break of day. Oh, oh, oh. I make all the little girls happy while the boys are out to play. Look at here. I ain't like old Saint Nick. Come but once a year. Oh, 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 oh. I ain't like old Saint Nick. He don't come but once a year. But look at here. I come running with my presents every time you call me dear. Look at here. I keep some change in my pocket in case the children at home. I give them a few pennies so that we can be alone. I leave the back door open so if anybody smells a mouse, and would know Santa be in trouble if ain't no chimney in the house. They call me backdoor Santa. I make my runs about the break of day. Look at here. I make all the little girls happy while the boys are out to play. That's what they call me, backdoor Santa. That's what they call me. They call me backdoor Santa. That's what all the girls call me. I give them all the presents. That's what they call me. They call me backdoor Santa. And I like them to call me that. They call me backdoor Santa. And I like it, I like it, I like it, I like it. Backdoor Santa.
I heard that.
Hey, this is your VibeMistress Stephanie Renee, welcoming you back to tonight's Soulful Holiday edition of our program. I heard that, and I want to thank my sister Shareese for now introducing me to a song that is clearly going in my holiday lineup from here on out.
Get the whole album.
Yeah,
I'm
you
telling
know,
you, man.
you got
Yes.
you make the ugly face, and you got to get your whole like 50s dance vibe on
Okay.
with that one.
And your
And
face
it's only
gotta
2
be
minutes
so up.
long. It's 2
I
minutes 9
know.
seconds.
He covers a lot of ground in that short amount of time.
Yes, he does.
The message got
Absolutely.
across. Okay.
But I'm just tickled that this was one of the albums that your mother enjoyed, and so this is what she played
Absolutely.
around everybody of all ages. You have to be a certain level of maturity to even understand what he's talking about in that song.
Right.
Otherwise, you're just going to appreciate the music.
Right. And that's what I did for many years. And then
Do you remember how old you were when you first
understanding.
realized what he was singing about?
I probably I feel like there was a period of time where I wasn't listening to the song because, like, you know, whenever my mother passed in 95. So probably like before that was, I mean, I was an adult at that time, but I don't know. It would have to have been before that time, but I don't remember having a revelation because if I did, and she was around, I'm like, yo, you had us listening to this.
But see now,
Cool.
right? Well, see now it's a pleasant memory that'll give you chuckle every holiday season.
And if you know my mother, it makes sense that she would have had us listening to this song, or that she would listen to it. And of course, if she's listening to it, then we were too. So if you knew my mother, that song does not surprise you that was on her playlist for Christmas every year.
Well, I love it, and I thank you for introducing that to me. So because we have picked up the pace a little bit, we're not necessarily going to stay there, but because we picked up the pace for a little bit, that's what led me to the next selection that I'm going to share with you. And I need y'all to understand how painful it was for me to narrow down my holiday selections to only 4 tunes, but I had to, after, you know, showing love to Take 6 and how that works. I had to stay in what would normally be an a cappella lane, but also just giving love to not only vocal harmonies, but to male vocal groups that come from the same point of origin that Take 6 did. And so I already shared with you all that Shareese and I really cemented our friendship as charter members of an a cappella group at Penn called The Inspiration. And so that ignited my love for a cappella in general. And about like 10 years ago now, where does the time go? So about 10 years ago, NBC started a competition vocal show before The Voice. They had the Sing Off. And vocal groups from around the country were competing for recording contracts, but we're talking about groups. And they always had to sing at some point a cappella. So this was a big, big deal. If you are not familiar with the show, that's how we got Pentatonics. That's how we got a group that originated at Howard University as Afro Blue for vocal jazz majors at Howard. And then professionally, they refer to themselves as Traces of Blue. Have not released an album. I don't know what happened with that, but they were amazingly gifted vocalists.
They were great.
And this group also competed and won on that show. And so Take 6 comes from a Seventh-day Adventist university called Oakwood. It used to be Oakwood College, now it's Oakwood University. And these 6 young men also attended that school. So you could talk about whether it's just a part of the strong music ministry that exists with SDA, or you can talk about the fact that Oakwood University has got something, both as an HBCU and as a school that just has a very strong music program, to be able to crank out such talented vocalists all the time. But I was floored the first time I heard Committed. And I was tickled when I saw that they released a Christmas EP several years ago. And this song is one that you hear every single year if you are around people that carol, but you have not heard it done this way. And so Shareese, as another person who loves to dance, this is their house music rendition of God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen.
Oh, wow. Okay.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Blessed angel came from God our heavenly Father. A blessed angel came, and unto certain shepherds brought tidings of the same. Now in the Bethlehem was born the Son of God by name. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and Now to the Lord sing praises, all you within this place. And with true love and brotherhood, each other now embrace. This holy tide of Christmas, all other doth efface. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Tidings of comfort and tidings of comfort and joy.
I heard that. I've expressed to you all how happy holiday music makes me, right? Especially when I can jack my body to Christmas music. I need you all to understand just that is my tiding of comfort and joy for real, for real.
Right.
And
Okay.
that
was cool. I liked it.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Like, I mean, I'm going to enjoy it regardless, y'all. Like, this show really is for me, but I'm happy to share it.
Right. We'd be doing this anyway.
I surely would. But I look for an excuse. Like, I wait for Thanksgiving to have an excuse to run Christmas music for the next month.
Yeah.
Solid. Like, just listen to it all the time. I know it's inappropriate at other times of year, but I love these arrangements. So I legitimately would listen to them all year long if it made sense, or people wouldn't give me ugly, strange faces by hearing me play it in like May.
Right.
So again, the name of the group was Committed, and they have released lots of music. They were actually very active on YouTube for a while, but as you all can imagine, young men doing take six like harmonies and trying to find a balance between the sacred and the secular that doesn't compromise who they are. It is not an easy road to walk.
at all.
And so I'm sure that they slowed down in doing their cover tunes and all the other kind of social media interaction and releasing full albums, because navigating this industry when you don't fit neatly into a box is
And
not
under
easy.
scrutiny, when you're trying to, you know, find that balance, man, you're scrutinized. If you think that that secular artists are scrutinized, forget about it if you are gospel in any way.
Yeah.
And there, I wanted to point out too that there is a rendition of, well, Take Six has their rendition of "God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen" on the album that Stephanie pulled her
He Is
her
Christmas
song from. Yes, He Is Christmas. They have their rendition of God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen as well. So, you know, there's acapella all going around with these Christmas songs, y'all.
Yes. And Take Six's version is with the Yellow Jackets.
Yes,
so for those of you who
Jackets.
consider yourselves to be smooth jazz fans, then I'm sure that there's a little something there that you will be able to latch on to and appreciate also. It's really, really beautiful.
Yes.
So we have now come to our bonus edition. We each picked a bonus track. And for Shareese, that is yet another classic. It is absolutely a Black classic, because if you didn't hear this in your home growing up, then y'all didn't do Christmas like my family did. So Shareese, share some background.
You can make a mistake and fall upon this song. If you have the radio on at all, and I don't even listen to the radio, but if I turn my radio on during this time of year, I guarantee you I'll hear it. I already know it. This song, I must be a fan. I'm not saying I'm not, because I very much am, of this super group who is an institution at Motown Records. And this song, I think as soon as Black folks hear the first couple of words, the first couple of notes, they're already ready to start singing the first couple of words. And rightfully so. This song is crazy. They took probably the most simple of Christmas songs and sold it all up. And I don't think anybody's tried to do anything with this song since then, because you just shouldn't. Just leave it alone and just play this one every year. Okay, let's do that. Because the Temptations put some stank on Silent Night. It is long for a good reason, and I wish it was longer, but you know, it is what it is. It's a wonderful song. My bonus song is Silent Night by the Temptations. You love it. You know it. You'll be singing along as soon as David Ruffin. As soon as
you went way back.
Oh, wait, I'm knocking myself over. As soon as the song starts, you'll be singing. Okay?
Yes. So join in with us. This is your official Christmas holiday sing along.
Y'all ready?
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
In my mind, I want you to be free. For all of our friends, would you listen to me? Now hear what I say. We wish you a Merry Christmas to each one of you.
Silent night, oh, silent night. 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 Sil
you to remember this line.
Merry Christmas
Merry Christmas
to all of you.
and we mean it.
Merry Christmas
Merry Christmas.
to all of you.
Merry Christmas from the Temptations.
I heard that. Everybody, can we have a collective sigh, a collective exhale for the soulful excellence that is the Temptations rendition of that song?
Yes. It doesn't feel like Christmas until you hear that song.
So
tomorrow?
what is funny is that, so for you named the 4 albums that were on rotation in your home.
Yes.
So for me, it was Nat King Cole. It was the Temptations Christmas album.
Mhm.
It was probably the Motown compilation, because there is a Stevie Wonder album and there is a Jackson 5 Christmas album. And so they were very interchangeable.
Yes.
And the fourth, the one that we had to hide in my home because it got to be too much. And I love them. Understand, I love them.
Yes.
But all of that and the Whispers in constant rotation, it was just a lot. We had to start switching it up. The kids had to start hiding the albums.
That's bad.
So that we could just get a break. We could come back to them. But I mean, when I say on constant rotation, I mean on constant rotation.
Yeah.
And in my house, we also had a cassette player with auto reverse.
Oh my God.
So it wasn't even necessarily the albums, it was the tapes. You could just put the tape in and the tape would just keep. That's why I say we had to hide them, because it was a lot.
Oh my gosh.
It was a lot. But I love them and I still come back to them now, you know. But woo, yeah. So, you know, on tonight's edition of I Heard That, we are kicking off your holiday celebration just like 36 hours early.
Yeah, just a little bit.
So that we can get you in the spirit of the season, that many of you're going to do this. You're going to have Thanksgiving dinner and then you're going to start playing the Christmas album. So we're just getting you started a little bit early.
Yes, warming you up.
That's right.
Oh.
And so for our final selection of the evening, I'm bringing it full circle around to the idea of family and back to Take 6. So, you know, Take 6 now is at the root of most of my holiday music listening.
Yes.
And so it's just funny because the next artist that will close out our selections for tonight could have and should have been in the group, but he's a little too worldly. And although he began his college career at Oakwood, because he was a little too worldly, he was asked to leave. And so I don't know if he ever went back and finished his degree, but he certainly did continue to sing. And part of the reason why he was motivated to both sing and to sing in that group is because there's a family connection, because his big brother Claude is the high tenor in Take 6. But even though the young brother, Brian, never made it into Take 6, he has had a storied musical career and has chosen to do his own fair share of Christmas albums as well.
Right.
Now, on this one, and the reason why I picked this song is that there are a lot more traditional songs that I could have chosen to share in this capacity. But I picked this song because A, it is the title track of his first Christmas album, but also for you 80s nerds out there, the other voice that is featured on this song is Michael Cimbello.
Oh.
And so if you are now scratching your head going, Michael Cimbello, where do I know that name from? He is the gentleman who gave us Maniac from the Flashdance soundtrack. Now, I'm sure some of you are scratching your heads like, Stephanie, where are you taking us? I need you to know that I love this song, but I love it that much more because Brian McKnight does all of his riffs and everything else that we know him for with that amazing gift he has.
Yes.
But Michael Cimbello, you have never heard sing like this. Brian McKnight's songwriting brings out the best in anybody who sings his material. And so I hope that you will feel that energy and all the goodness that comes from this song called Bethlehem.
Virgin Mary was laden with child. The prophecy had been foretold. The one who had come to save our lives was born in a manger so low. And as sure as the stars are in the sky, valleys low and mountains high, the newborn king was born in Bethlehem tonight. Bethlehem tonight. Three kings brought gifts from far away, but boy came to play upon his drum. Skeptics saw truth and had nothing to say. The wonderful Savior had come. And as sure as the stars are in the sky, valleys low and mountains high, the newborn king was born in Bethlehem tonight. Bethlehem tonight. Behold our Redeemer from sin. There was no room in the air, but still he left his throne on high, shed his blood to save our lives. Our lives in Bethlehem tonight.
I heard that. And ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our selections for tonight. Please understand that this could have gone on like for hours and hours longer than
it's so hard choosing 3 of any song. Like any topic we have, it's hard choosing 3 songs. So even giving us an extra one with 4 did not make it any easier.
Not at all. Not at all.
We need all night with this because good Lord.
I feel like I have to name some honorable mentions.
Yes.
Because I said earlier, Pentatonics. Pentatonics has released 3 Christmas albums.
What?
So yeah, exactly. So if
know
you are
that.
a fan of Christmas music and you are a fan of acapella, then I sincerely hope that you will look up their catalog and support them, because it is really, really quite amazing. I will say Leslie Odom Jr. has, and trust me, I fought. I was like, I got to do the ones that I did. He has 2 Christmas albums. So, these are
Wow.
people that I want you to look up and support. Some of the classics, of course, we want you to just have that in your collection. But some of these newer artists, people
Yeah.
who are really kind of doing their independent thing and are going against the grain of what everybody else is singing, I want you to buy those albums because they absolutely need it. Lettucey has a Christmas album. Listen, she has 2. Mesa has a Christmas album. So
Doesn't Rashawn Patterson have a Christmas album? I think he does.
I think he
Like,
does.
he does.
Michael Bublé has 2 full albums and an EP.
Oh, that's
He
got to be
just
crazy.
released a new one, and of course I bought it. So again, these are under normal circumstances. If we were doing a 3-hour show, I could have shared so much more with you all.
Yes.
But I really want you to, whatever you believe, to appreciate the spirit of the music and to enjoy the music. And if you have occasion, to indulge and share with your family, elders and young ones, please play the music for them, sing along with it, and just really
Yes.
embrace the spirit of the holidays.
Right.
It is incredibly important. I had a request for Mojo to make an appearance.
Oh, right.
So,
I saw that.
I don't know if you all could hear him snoring.
Is he awake? Oh, okay. He's usually sleeping during the
He has his head right now is laying on my left foot. So this is kind of past his bedtime. If he was awake, I would absolutely pick him up and allow him to make an appearance. But know that he has been enjoying the music as well in his own doggy snoring very loudly way.
At least we know it's not disturbing him,
Not at all.
No.
Not at all. And so for people who want to give us suggestions, Shareese has been very good at curating some of your suggestions with her follow-up Facebook posts. But if you are not on Facebook, not really interested in the social media thing, then I hope you have seen periodically throughout the evening, I've been sharing my email address. If you have thoughts about other themes that you would like Shareese and I to tackle on the program, then by all means, send me an email. We take all of your suggestions into consideration, and we intend to weave them through in like every other show that we do. So it's like you give us a theme, we do that, and then the next one we brainstormed a bunch of stuff, so we will share as well, and we'll have that exchange as we as we continue on this path. We have been very good after my big allergic hiatus week to keep up with our schedule of every other Tuesdays.
Yes.
So now that means I don't have my calendar in front of me, Shareese, but sign up. The other thing that you can do to make sure you don't miss this is to subscribe to the Soul Sanctuary Inc. YouTube channel so that you will get reminders when we post when the next episode will happen, and you can tune in and just be a part of this whole sharing of music that we do. And Shareese, I know you often like to share who you're wearing and that kind of thing. Any other information you want to share with the people before we sign off?
Sure. Well, first of all, the next 2 Tuesdays will be December 7th.
Okay, thank you.
Tonight I'm wearing Millie's International Creations. This is the jumbo leather choker. I am obsessed. Okay, there are plenty of colors on the website. This is Guan by Sharon, guanbysharon.com. It's actually hooded. She does all kinds of great things.
So
and these are like vendors from events that I've been to. This came from Martha's Vineyard. This is by Lalise.com. And my hair do. I saw her in the comments, Tanisha Webb.
Yay!
Mom of 4 of my great nieces. She did this coif for me.
It's beautiful.
She hooked me up.
Tanisha. I have a niece, Tanisha, too.
Yes. Well, do she do hair? She be doing hair.
She's a nurse. That is not her gift.
Other stuff. That's not her ministry. But you know, this Tanisha does hook me up with my hairstyles.
Mm-hmm. So y'all can reach out to her in the comments too.
Yes, ma'am. Reach out.
If y'all can get that worked out.
That's right.
All right, everybody. Thank you as always for tuning in and giving us your energy. Oh, I do have to say to Craig, though, if you are still around, that I don't know, you can't see when I'm not on screen how hard I laugh at some of y'all's comments. And for those of you, I didn't put it up on the screen, but when we played Clarence Carter, he said Uncle Nearest. And if you all are not drinking, folks, then you do not understand exactly how funny and perfect that is.
Right.
Uncle Nearest is a distillery that makes high quality bourbon.
Yes.
And whiskey, Lord. So because there's a difference.
Yes.
But it is for all of you who have ever had Jack Daniels in your life. Uncle Nearest is the former enslaved man who taught Jack Daniels how to distill. The original recipe of Jack Daniels came from Uncle Nearest. And this sister did her research, found out this information, and made it her point to honor Uncle Nearest and his recipe and all that he taught to the Jack Daniels Company, and started a Black-owned whiskey company with Uncle Nearest recipes. And so now, because of her efforts on the Jack Daniels Distillery Tour, they tell you about Uncle Nearest and that whole exchange that went on between knowledge sharing and brew sharing and all that information. So if you want to support another Black-owned business for your holiday fine spirits, then please look for, or special order if you need to, Uncle Nearest Whiskey, and support that sister and her company.
Yes, Andrea, that's your drink, girl. Get you some Uncle Nearest. I can't do the whiskey because I think I don't know, something be catching on fire. I don't need to be catching on fire. But my girl Andrea, that's her drink. She be sipping on some whiskey.
So see, we're supporting all different kinds of stuff here. We're supporting the music and the culture.
That's right.
So thank you everybody for tuning in. Come back, do this with us again December 7th, 2 Tuesdays from tonight, and we will share more on the next edition of I Heard That. Good night.